Alright, so the first thing that I'm going to do is use an eyeshadow base to bring out some of those colors that we're going to be using. I'm using my L'Oreal High Intensity Pigment. I'm going to take a little bit of that on my finger. And all we need is a little bit. That'll get us quite far. And please ignore the mess I'm making with it. But the idea is to really concentrate the color on the lid and to diffuse it out as you start to work your way up on the crease. So the idea is to see more color here, less color up there. Next, I'm going to take a sugar pill pigment that I have, and this one is called Stella. This is a sample size jar that I have. I'm going to take a tiny bit and put it up to the camera so you can see it, get an idea of what it looks like. So on camera, on my eye, it looks kind of like a smoky black gray. Yeah, completely disregard that. It does not look like that at all. It's more like a dark, and it's a gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous color. It's kind of like a dark navy blue, but it's got like hints of red, burgundy, green. It's like, I almost want to call it like the Christmas sparkle. It's got like all those fun colors, but primarily you see that dark naval blue, and it's just, it's so freaking pretty. So we're going to be using that. First, to set that beautiful pigment, I'm going to take my LA Splash Sealer. You may also use lash glue or anything that's going to be sticky, creamy, and that's going to help pick up those pigments or whatever it is that you're working with, pigment or glitter, and keep you, it's going to save you tons of mess with fallout, and basically make sure that all that color gets on your eye and not underneath your eyes. So I'm going to take that. I'm going to take a shader brush. The shader brush I'm using is my Sigma E55, most comparable to Max. Which one is that one? Most comparable to Max 239. Yes, most comparable to Max 239. So anything that's kind of similar to that, really dense. And before this stuff dries, while I run my mouth, I'm going to start to pat that onto my lid. Onto my lid. I hope you guys can kind of see the blue a little bit more, but this is just a genius color, especially for the holidays. You know, you kind of want something dark and smoky, but not like club dark smoky. It's still like a holiday friendly dark eye, and that's what I love about it, because it's kind of festive, you know. So what I'm doing is I'm really packing that onto my lid, and usually what I like to do is blend it out with a blending brush. See how it's got kind of like that harsh edge? I like to take my blending brush and I usually blend that out. Or for this look, ew, I got fallout. You like how I was totally see? I'm gonna have to take care of that later. Anyways, traditionally what I would like to do to clean up that crease, kind of give it a more airbrush look, is I take my blending brush and I go windshield wipers and circular circles. Well, instead of doing that this time, I'm still working with the same brush, and I'm just gonna kind of define that out actually. Take that brush and really round it out. Almost as if you were doing kind of like a harsh edge. And all I'm doing is just following the natural shape of my eye. And then what I do is I'm gonna go on with my blending brush, and then I'm gonna blend that out. And then I'm gonna blend that out. Any way that you would prefer. I kind of like to do a combination of going back and forth and then circular motions. I find that a little bit of both works for me, but the reason why I wanted to define that crease was just for the heck of it. I don't know. I just wanted to do something a little bit different. I wanted to go for something a little bit more edgy. Notice that I did not use a brow bone highlight, just kind of playing with my concealer. I just used lighter shade concealer to achieve a more natural looking highlight for this look. I'm going to take MAC's Reflects Pearl Glitter. and it's literally like the epitome of a beautiful, it's like a white, when you look at it, it's like white, but it reflects silver. I'm gonna take just a little bit of that to saturate that brush, give it a spray with Fix Plus so it doesn't budge. And just start adding a little bit more festiveness to the blue that we used. No need to sweat it if you don't have the reflex pearl. I just thought it would look prettier, honestly. I mean, it still looks just as pretty as is. Just wanted something a little bit more festive, and I'm honestly obsessed with this pigment. So at this point, there really shouldn't be any fallout at the bottom if you, I went ahead and cleaned it up off camera. So I guess this step will vary on how you do your makeup, but I'm going to go ahead and fill in for the bottom portion of my eye. But first, I'm going to take some more of that Reflex Pearl Glitter, the stuff that I absolutely adore. And I'm going to take that and a pencil brush. Really don't need much product. You can even dust some of that off if you don't want to have to deal with the fallout. And just on the inner circles, just on the inner corners, I should say. Just going to dab that to give it a more edgier. Once again, I'm all about edge right now. Edgy holiday. Let's go outside of traditional Christmas this year. Christmas, New Year's, all that hoopla. Let's get edgy. I'm going to use a black kohl liner to line my waterline. And even a little bit above tight lining, just a little bit. I can't get too crazy with all that though. I'm going to take that Stella pigment and a flat shading brush like this one, which is the 212 brush from MAC. And then I'm going to start to fill in on my lower lash line. Using a pencil brush to kind of buff that out a little bit and soften it. Using that feline again, I'm going to line my upper lash line. Instead of using a traditional gel liner, I opted for something a little more smokier, and you can definitely achieve that look with a not so perfect black line. And what I like to do is kind of flick it once I get to the inner corners to give kind of like that cat eye effect. Keep it real thin from the inner eye. And then when I get to the ends, I start to flick it, and not only do I flick that, but I go back to my shader brush. And I'm also even going to take a little bit of black eyeshadow. This is Bulletproof by Sugar Pill. Take a little bit of that on that brush and go over that, over the black. Flick it up too as well. Give it kind of like that edgy, smoky liner. And if needed, buff that in your crease as well, so it's not so harsh. Next is mascara. I'm using my always trusted Maybelline's Lash Stiletto. Lastly, I decided, what the heck, why not pop some lashes in those bad boys? These are my Red Cherries, number 415. They're actually a full strip lash, but I cut them in half because it's really not that serious. And I'm using it as half lash because I think it's just as pretty. And so now your eyes are done. Check, do the rest of your face, and come back and I will show you the lip combo. So as for the rest of my face, as far as blush goes, I opted for something that's pink but a little bit more neutral pink. So this is Mocha Blush by MAC. And I'm just basically applying that more towards the apples of my cheeks. Just a lighter flush of color, which you're probably not going to see much of on camera with this lighting, but you get the idea. You don't want it to look like blush, 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 blush. For brow bone highlighting, honestly, you've got enough highlighting on the face and sparkle and shimmer for days. So I would either altogether skip a highlight, or if you are like me and you just can't skip any steps, like period, I would opt for something that's kind of got like a matte finish. This one is Personal Style by MAC. As you can see, there's not much color to it. It's almost like neutral to the color of my hand. There's that one. And then there is Garb. Both of these were limited items. Don't know currently where they are on the market now. They may or may not be even in a collection right now. I don't know that. But these were two blushes that I got some time ago, maybe about a year and a half ago. So if you have them, great. If you have something similar that looks like this, even an eyeshadow, Bisque eyeshadow may work. What else? Let's see. Let's look at some of my highlight colors that you could possibly use. Bisque was one of them. You could probably even try Blanc Type. And these are not tested, by the way. I'm just guessing. Vanilla eyeshadow. So those are all kind of, oh, and Malt eyeshadow by MAC. Those are all kind of like in the same family as those two blushes I was showing you. It's worth a shot, you know, give it a try. If you like them, great. If not, we tried. I'm gonna apply those just to the apples of my cheeks, and it's going to have just the subtle most highlight, and it will photograph matte. Minimal shimmer. I'm lining the outer rim of my lips with lip liner because I'm using such a bright super fuchsia pink. I've said this before, I'm gonna go ahead and say it again. Whenever you're trying to pull off a really bold, bright look, such as and this generally applies to any lip color I find, red, if you're not really used to reds, pinks, corals, oranges, any type of shade that you're kind of like getting your feet wet with and you're really not comfortable wearing as is. My trick to getting it to blend in with the rest of my skin tone is using a soft brown liner. So this is Cork Liner by MAC, and it's basically the same color as my skin tone, so you're not going to see much, but once I add the lip color, it's going to be a more natural transition from your complexion to the lip color. So it's not going to give you like that weird outer ring. It's not going to stand out as harshly. You don't have to super overline them, just enough to where you can somewhat see the effects of it. For the pink lip, I'm going to use something that is a fuchsia, but it's got like a blue pink base. This is Show Orchid, probably one of MAC's staple lip colors. Bright pink, and if you look really closely, you can see hints of blue. So I applied just enough to get the color on. I'm really being a blue freak right now, and I'm going to apply even more blue pink on top of this. This is MAC's Electric Fuchsia Lip Glass. Another, unfortunately, limited item they came out with the Spring Color Forecast collection. And what I love about it is when you look closely, it's pink, but this thing got like blue and purple sparkles up in there. I mean, like, how fabulous can you get, honestly? You can't. But anyways, I'm gonna put that on top of the gloss, and it's really gonna like electrify this look, which is what I'm trying to do, as you can see. That's why I keep making references to edginess and rock star, maybe not rock star, but you get the idea. So that would be the entire look on my ever so washed out daylight video camera. I hope that you enjoyed the pictures that I showed you, because this look and this lighting, y'all, on this camera is doing this look no justice. It looks fabulous in person and in photographs. I hope you guys liked it, and I hope you guys had a great Christmas and a great New Year's. And you mad because I'm late, but I'm not gonna lie, this is a pretty bomb New Year's look. But you know what? We're gonna save this video for later and do it next year, okay?